Welcome to the Serengeti, a realm where the wild heart of Africa beats strong and untamed. Here the first light of dawn spills across endless plains, painting the land in gold and igniting a symphony of life that stirs with the rising sun. This vast wilderness is a world where nature operates on a truly epic scale. The Serengeti stretches beyond the horizon, a boundless expanse where the drama of survival unfolds in every direction. Its very name means endless plains, and as you gaze across the rolling grasslands, the sheer immensity of this ecosystem becomes clear. The land seems to go on forever, a living ocean of grass that sways and shimmers beneath the African sky. Each blade of grass is part of a vast tapestry, rippling in the wind like waves. This golden sea is the foundation of life here, nourishing countless creatures and setting the stage for the Serengeti's timeless stories. The plains are alive with movement. Herds of wildebeest surge across the grasslands, their hooves thundering in unison. Zebra mingle among them, their stripes flickering in the sunlight, while gazelles leap and dart, ever watchful for danger. But the Serengeti is far more than just grass. It is a complex mosaic of habitats, patchworks of open plains, scattered woodlands, and dense thickets, each supporting its own web of life. The rhythm of the seasons shapes everything. When the rains arrive, the grasslands burst into vibrant green, and new life emerges everywhere. Calves and foals take their first steps, and the air is filled with the calls of birds and the rustle of countless insects. Scattered across the plains, acacia trees stand like sentinels. Their flat-topped canopies cast long shadows, offering precious shade in the heat of the day and creating iconic silhouettes against the fiery African sunsets. Towering giraffes glide between the trees, their long necks reaching for tender leaves. Beneath the acacias, antelope and warthogs graze, taking shelter from the relentless sun. Yet, the Serengeti holds secrets beyond the open grasslands. Hidden among the waves of gold are ancient granite outcrops, mysterious islands rising from the plains. These rocky kopjes are sculpted by time and weather, their surfaces warmed by the sun and dotted with lichen. They stand as silent witnesses to the ages, offering refuge and vantage points for those who call them home. Within these rocky worlds, lions lounge in the sun, their golden coats blending with the stone. Hyraxes and lizards scurry between crevices, while birds nest in hidden nooks, safe from the dangers of the open plains. From these heights, leopards and lions scan the grasslands, their keen eyes searching for the faintest movement, a sign of opportunity or a threat to avoid. Life here is also shaped by water. Winding rivers snake through the savanna, their courses shifting with the seasons, carving lifelines through the heart of the Serengeti. The Grumeti and Mara rivers flow steadily, their banks teeming with life. Crocodiles bask on the muddy shores, while hippos wallow in the cool depths, hidden beneath the surface. In the dry season, these rivers become magnets for wildlife. Thirsty herds gather at the water's edge, jostling for space, while predators lurk nearby, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Along the riverbanks, lush forests and dense thickets create a world apart from the open plains. Here, the air is cooler, the light dappled, and the sounds of life are layered and rich. In these shaded woodlands, monkeys leap from branch to branch, bushbucks browse in the undergrowth, and birds flit through the canopy, each species finding its niche in the intricate web of life. The Serengeti's diversity is its strength. From open grasslands to rocky kopjes, from winding rivers to shadowy forests, each landscape supports a unique community, and together they create one of the richest ecosystems on Earth. Every creature here is bound by the same cycle: predators and prey, scavengers and grazers, all playing their part in the eternal dance of life and death. The Serengeti is one of the last places on Earth where immense herds of large mammals still roam free. Elephants stride across the plains, their families moving with purpose, while wildebeest and zebra travel in vast numbers, their migrations shaping the land itself. The Great Migration is a spectacle of survival and endurance. Millions of animals journey together, braving rivers and predators, driven by the promise of fresh grass and the instinct to survive. On these plains, the chase is relentless. Lions and cheetahs stalk their prey, their every move a test of skill and strength. The hunted must be ever alert, for a single mistake can mean the difference between life and death. As the sun sets and the land glows with the colors of dusk, the Serengeti remains a living laboratory, a place where the wild spirit of Africa endures, untamed and eternal, in a world where every day is a new chapter in the epic story of life. Imagine a river of life flowing across the vast plains, a living current made up of countless creatures, each driven by instinct and necessity. From the sky, the migration appears as a moving tapestry, a gathering of animals so immense it can be seen from space. This is the Great Migration, the Serengeti's most famous and awe-inspiring spectacle, where survival is a daily battle for every species involved. Over 1.5 million wildebeest, accompanied by hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, set out on a colossal circular journey. Each species brings its own strengths and strategies to the migration. Wildebeest, with their tireless endurance, lead the way, their hooves pounding the earth in search of fresh grazing and life-giving water. Zebras, with their keen eyesight and social bonds, often flank the herds, alert to danger and quick to sound the alarm. The migration follows the rains, a continuous movement across more than 1,000 kilometers of unforgiving African wilderness. The animals read the subtle signs of the weather, sensing distant storms and the promise of new grass, creating a rhythm that defines the entire ecosystem. For the youngest calves and foals, the journey is a test of instinct and learning. They cling to their mothers, mimicking every move, while mothers remain vigilant, ready to defend their offspring from lurking threats. The sheer scale of the migration offers some protection. There is safety in numbers. Yet this defense is imperfect. Predators prowl the edges, and the weakest are always at risk. The relentless pace is exhausting. The very young, the old, and the injured struggle to keep up, often falling behind and becoming easy targets for opportunistic hunters. Hunger is a constant companion. Wildebeest and zebras graze ceaselessly, their survival dependent on finding enough food to fuel their journey. Gazelles, more selective in their diet, nibble at the tender shoots left behind. When the rains are late or fail, the grasslands turn to dust. The herds must press on, sometimes for days, with little to eat, their bodies growing gaunt and weary. Thirst is an even more immediate threat. Waterholes shrink under the relentless sun, and competition for every drop intensifies. Wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles cluster around muddy pools, sometimes forced to travel great distances to find the next source. The desperate search for water can lead them into dangerous territory. The most perilous challenge awaits at the rivers. Wildebeest and zebras gather at the banks, sensing the danger but driven by thirst and the need to move forward. The Grammati and Mara rivers are deep and fast-flowing. The herds must summon all their courage to cross, knowing that hesitation can be fatal. Panic erupts as the first animals plunge into the water. The crossing becomes a frenzy. Hooves thrash, water churns, and the weak are swept away or trampled in the chaos. Beneath the surface, unseen dangers lurk. The murky waters conceal ancient predators, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Nile crocodiles, some of the largest reptiles on Earth, lie in wait, motionless and patient, blending seamlessly with the riverbanks. With explosive speed, they lunge from the water, seizing the unwary and dragging them into the depths. The river becomes a battleground, a place where only the most fortunate survive. Each crossing is a brutal test of courage and luck, a moment where the fate of hundreds can change in an instant. On land, the threats are just as relentless. Lions, hyenas, leopards, and cheetahs shadow the herds, each predator employing its own tactics. Lions use teamwork and stealth, singling out the vulnerable. Hyenas, ever opportunistic, follow the herds, ready to scavenge or hunt in packs. Leopards rely on ambush, while cheetahs use bursts of speed to chase down the unwary. The predators are always watching, probing the edges for weakness, a lone calf, an injured adult, or an exhausted straggler. The drama of survival plays out in every moment. The constant threat means the herds are always alert. Wildebeest and zebras take turns keeping watch, their senses finely tuned to the slightest hint of danger. The journey is a marathon of endurance, a year-long obstacle course through grasslands, woodlands, and rivers. Each species adapts. Gazelles leap over obstacles, zebras use their stripes to confuse predators, and wildebeest rely on sheer numbers and stamina. In the end, only the strongest, the most resourceful, and the luckiest survive to begin the cycle anew. This is nature at its most raw and powerful, a never-ending epic of survival, adaptation, and the unbreakable will to live. In the vast, sun-drenched world of the Serengeti, one predator stands above all others, the East African lion, a creature of immense strength and regal bearing. With a population numbering in the thousands, these lions are woven into the very fabric of the grasslands, their presence felt across the endless plains and beneath the scattered acacia trees. Every movement of a lion radiates power and confidence, their golden eyes reflecting the wild heart of the Serengeti. A fully grown male can tip the scales at 500 pounds, his thick dark mane both a shield in battle and a signal of his formidable strength to rivals. Unlike any other cat, lions are truly social, living in tightly knit family groups known as prides, where bonds are forged through grooming, play, and shared protection. This social structure is the foundation of their survival, enabling them to hunt formidable prey, nurture their young, and defend their territory against all challengers. Masters of stealth, lions use the tall golden grasses as cover, their bodies pressed low, muscles coiled in anticipation of the hunt. Even with their imposing size, they move with astonishing silence, blending into the landscape, using rocky kopjes and the shifting light to mask their approach. When the moment comes, they explode from cover in a burst of speed, reaching up to 50 miles per hour, relying on surprise and power rather than endurance. The hunt is a symphony of coordination, with lionesses, smaller, swifter, and more agile, leading the charge, each member playing a vital role. They fan out in formation, encircling herds of wildebeest or zebra, cutting off escape routes and driving their quarry into carefully laid traps. One lion may break cover, sending panic through the herd, while others lie in wait, ready to intercept fleeing prey with precision and force. Through teamwork, they can bring down even the largest and most dangerous animals, buffalo, wildebeest, and sometimes even giraffe, feeding the pride and sustaining the next generation. The ancient granite kopjes scattered across the plains are strongholds for the prides, offering both a strategic lookout and a sanctuary from the heat and threats. From these rocky perches, lions scan the horizon for distant herds, rival predators, or the approach of danger, ever vigilant in their domain. Within the cool shadows of the kopjes, lionesses shelter their cubs, keeping them hidden from prowling hyenas and other threats, nurturing them until they are strong enough to join the pride. A pride that controls a kopje holds a powerful advantage, securing safety, shade, and a commanding view of the surrounding grasslands. Yet life for a lion is a constant struggle. Scarred faces and weary eyes tell stories of battles fought against hunger, against rivals, and against the harshness of the dry season. Fierce competition for food is ever present. Hyenas, cunning and relentless, often challenge lions for their hard-won meals, leading to tense and sometimes violent confrontations. Within the pride, the struggle for dominance is unending. Males battle for the right to lead, and only the strongest hold their place at the top. As dusk falls, the lion's roar echoes across the plains, a deep, resonant call that proclaims territory and strength, carrying for miles through the night air. These roars are more than warnings. They are the voices of the pride, keeping members connected in the darkness and reinforcing the bonds that hold them together. The lion's presence shapes the Serengeti itself. As apex predators, they influence the movements and numbers of the great herds, maintaining the delicate balance of life on the plains. By preying on the vast herds of herbivores, they prevent overgrazing, allowing the grasses to regenerate and supporting countless other species that depend on the land. The Serengeti lion is not only a symbol of wild power, but a keystone of the ecosystem, shaping the destiny of every creature that shares these endless golden plains. While lions may be the kings of the Serengeti, the plains are alive with other formidable hunters, each with their own unique strategies and adaptations for survival. Among these, the spotted hyena stands out as one of the most misunderstood and underestimated predators in Africa. With their sloping backs, powerful jaws, and haunting vocalizations, hyenas are often dismissed as mere scavengers. But this reputation belies their true nature. Spotted hyenas are, in fact, among the most successful hunters on the plains, responsible for the majority of their own kills. Their hunting technique is a masterclass in endurance and teamwork. Hyenas hunt in coordinated groups, using their numbers to outmaneuver and exhaust their prey. Living in large, complex social groups called clans, hyenas form societies that can number up to 80 individuals. These clans are tightly knit, with intricate hierarchies and relationships that shape every aspect of their lives. At the top stands a dominant female, larger and more powerful than the males, who leads the clan with authority. Their social structure is matriarchal, and cooperation is key to their hunting success. Hyenas communicate with a complex array of sounds, postures, and even scent markings. As night falls, their eerie, whooping calls echo across the savanna, a signal to gather, to hunt, or to defend territory. When a clan is on the move, the landscape shifts. Prey animals grow restless, sensing the approach of these relentless hunters. Spotted hyenas are built for endurance. Unlike lions, who rely on ambush, or cheetahs, who depend on speed, hyenas are pursuit predators. They can trot for hours, covering vast distances in search of opportunity. When a target is chosen, the chase is relentless. Hyenas can pursue prey for miles, maintaining speeds of up to 35 miles per hour. Their stamina is legendary, and their teamwork allows them to wear down even the most resilient animals. Once the prey is exhausted, the hyenas close in, using their powerful jaws to deliver the final blow. With a bite force of over 1,100 psi, their jaws can crush bone with ease. This allows them to access the nutritious marrow inside and to consume nearly every part of a carcass. Very little is left behind when a hyena clan has finished feeding. Bones, hooves, and horns are all that remain. Even scavengers like vultures must wait their turn, picking at the scraps left by these efficient predators. Opportunism is another hallmark of hyena behavior. They are quick to exploit the kills of other predators, using their numbers and aggression to take over a meal. Hyenas frequently challenge lions at carcasses, engaging in tense standoffs that can last for hours. When the clan is large enough, they can even drive lions away, claiming the spoils for themselves. In stark contrast to the hyena's power and social complexity stands the cheetah, a solitary specialist built for breathtaking speed. The cheetah is the fastest land animal on Earth, capable of accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. Its entire body is a marvel of evolutionary engineering, lightweight with long limbs, a deep chest, and a flexible spine that acts like a spring. The cheetah's acceleration is unmatched, and its long tail acts as a rudder, allowing for sharp, agile turns at high speed. Every muscle, every bone is designed for one purpose: to outrun prey in a short, explosive burst. The cheetah's flexible spine allows its stride to stretch far beyond that of any other cat, propelling it forward with each bound. Its tail provides balance, acting as a counterweight during high-speed chases and sudden turns. But this incredible speed comes at a cost. The cheetah's sprint is short-lived, lasting only a few hundred yards before it risks overheating. If the first attempt fails, the cheetah must rest, vulnerable and exposed. Overheating is a constant threat, and the cheetah's slender build offers little protection against larger predators. Built for speed, not strength, cheetahs avoid direct conflict with hyenas and lions, often surrendering their hard-won meals. Their vulnerability means they must remain ever watchful, ready to abandon a kill at the first sign of danger. To minimize competition, cheetahs hunt primarily during the day, when lions and hyenas are less active. Their keen eyesight allows them to spot prey from great distances, and their stealth brings them close before the chase begins. Female cheetahs are solitary hunters, raising their cubs alone and relying on stealth and speed to provide for their young. They scan the horizon for herds of antelope, searching for the weak or the unwary. Using every bit of cover, the cheetah creeps as close as possible before launching into a high-speed pursuit. The chase is a spectacle of speed and agility, a race where every second counts. Male cheetahs, on the other hand, sometimes form coalitions, small groups that allow them to defend territories and hunt larger prey. These coalitions can take down animals that would be too challenging for a solitary cheetah. The preferred prey of the cheetah is the agile Thompson's gazelle, a worthy adversary in the open grasslands. The pursuit is a high-stakes gamble. If the cheetah fails, exhaustion sets in quickly. A failed hunt means a long wait before the next attempt, and the risk of losing precious energy. Even after a successful kill, the cheetah's ordeal is not over. It must eat quickly, always alert for the approach of hyenas or lions. More often than not, a stronger predator will appear, forcing the cheetah to abandon its meal and retreat into the grass, waiting for another chance to run, to hunt, and to survive in the ever-challenging Serengeti. Deep within the vast and varied landscapes of the Serengeti, two of the most formidable and secretive predators reign supreme: leopards and crocodiles. These masters of stealth and ambush have evolved to thrive in their respective domains, each perfectly adapted to the challenges of their unique habitats. The leopard, solitary and elusive, is the most adaptable of Africa's big cats. It inhabits a wide range of environments, from dense woodlands and riverine forests to rocky outcrops known as kopjes, and even the fringes of open grasslands. With a coat patterned in rosettes, the leopard is a master of camouflage. Its fur allows it to vanish into the dappled sunlight of the forest, the mottled shadows of the kopjes, or the tall golden grasses, making it nearly invisible to both prey and rival predators. Unlike the social lions or the relentless hyenas, leopards are solitary hunters. They rely on stealth, patience, and the element of surprise, moving silently and unseen through their territory. Their remarkable strength and agility set them apart. Leopards are unmatched climbers, able to ascend trees and rocky cliffs with ease, often using these vantage points to scan for prey or to escape larger predators. Trees are not just refuges, but essential parts of the leopard's hunting and feeding strategy. From high perches, they can observe the movements of antelope, warthogs, and other potential prey below. The hunt begins with a slow, calculated stalk. The leopard moves with incredible caution, keeping its body low and using every available cover, grass, rocks, and shadows, to remain undetected. Every movement is deliberate. The leopard's padded paws allow it to move almost soundlessly, inching closer to its target with unwavering focus and patience, sometimes for hours at a time. When the moment is right, the leopard launches an explosive attack from close range, relying on a sudden burst of speed and power to overwhelm its prey before it can react. Yet even after a successful hunt, the leopard's challenges are not over. Larger predators like lions and hyenas are always on the lookout for an easy meal, and a solitary leopard must constantly defend its hard-won prize. To safeguard its catch, the leopard uses its immense strength to drag prey, sometimes heavier than itself, high into the branches of a tree out of reach of scavengers and competitors. Here, perched above the ground, the leopard can feed in relative peace, undisturbed by the chaos and competition below. While leopards dominate the trees, rocks and thickets, the rivers of the Serengeti are ruled by a different kind of predator, one that has changed little since the age of the dinosaurs. The Nile crocodile is a living relic, an apex predator perfectly suited to its aquatic world. Its armored body, immense jaws and powerful tail make it a formidable force in the rivers and wetlands. These giants can reach lengths of up to 18 feet and weigh more than 1,500 pounds, making them the largest freshwater predators in Africa. Crocodiles spend most of their lives submerged, with only their eyes and nostrils breaking the surface. Their rough, ridged backs resemble floating logs, providing perfect camouflage as they wait in silence. Patience is the crocodile's greatest weapon. Motionless for hours or even days, it waits for unsuspecting prey to approach the water's edge. When the opportunity arises, the crocodile strikes with astonishing speed, using its powerful jaws to seize and hold its victim in a vice-like grip. The true spectacle of the crocodile's hunting prowess is revealed during the Great Migration, when vast herds of wildebeest and zebra must cross the Mara and Grumeti rivers. As the herds plunge into the water, crocodiles explode from their hiding places, launching ambushes with terrifying force and precision. The bite of a Nile crocodile is among the most powerful in the animal kingdom, exerting up to 5,000 pounds per square inch, enough to crush bone and ensure that escape is nearly impossible. Once a victim is caught, the crocodile employs the infamous death roll, spinning its entire body to tear flesh and dismember prey, a technique that leaves little chance for survival. These river crossings are perilous gauntlets for the migrating herds. Crocodiles, as ancient gatekeepers, play a vital role in the ecosystem, culling the weak and unwary and maintaining the balance of life in the Serengeti. In the heart of the Serengeti, where predators roam in search of their next meal, prey animals have evolved a remarkable arsenal of defenses to survive. Each species, shaped by generations of relentless pursuit, has developed unique behaviors and adaptations to outwit their hunters. For the vast herds of the Great Migration, sheer numbers are their greatest shield. By moving together in groups that can number over 1 million, wildebeest, zebras, and antelopes create a living barrier against predators. In these immense gatherings, the odds of any single animal being singled out are drastically reduced. The confusion and chaos of the herd make it difficult for predators to focus on one target. This herding instinct is a fundamental survival tactic, providing safety in numbers and making it harder for predators to isolate the weak or young. When danger approaches, the herd erupts into a stampede. The thunder of hooves, swirling dust, and frantic movement create a bewildering spectacle, often overwhelming the senses of even the most skilled hunters. Beyond the power of the herd, each species brings its own set of survival skills to the plains. Some rely on strength, others on speed, and many on the art of blending in. The African buffalo, for example, is a formidable opponent. Its size and strength are matched by a fierce social structure. Buffaloes gather in large herds, forming a living fortress. When threatened, they close ranks, presenting a wall of muscle and horns to any would-be attacker. The strongest bulls take up positions on the outer edge, encircling the vulnerable calves and females, ready to defend the group with lethal force. Their thick, curved horns are not just for show. A charging buffalo can inflict devastating injuries, making even lions hesitate before attacking. Lions often weigh the risks carefully, knowing that a single misstep could prove fatal when facing a healthy adult buffalo. Other prey animals depend on their keen senses and physical adaptations. Heightened vision, acute hearing, and a constant state of alertness are their first lines of defense. The Maasai giraffe, towering above the savanna, uses its height as a natural lookout. From 18 feet up, it can spot predators long before they get close. This early warning system allows giraffes to move away from danger, often before a predator has even begun its approach. But if escape is not possible, giraffes are far from defenseless. A single, well-placed kick from their powerful legs can shatter bones and even kill a lion, making them a dangerous adversary when cornered. Camouflage is another vital defense. Zebras, for instance, use their bold stripes to confuse predators. When zebras cluster together, their stripes blend into a dazzling, shifting pattern, making it difficult for predators to single out an individual. For smaller antelopes like Thompson's and Grant's gazelles, speed and agility are their greatest assets. These nimble creatures can reach speeds of over 50 miles per hour, darting and zigzagging to evade even the fastest predators like the cheetah. They also perform a behavior known as stotting or pronking, leaping high into the air to display their fitness and agility. This display signals to predators that they are healthy and not worth the effort of a chase, often causing the hunter to seek out weaker prey. From camouflage and herding to speed, strength, and vigilance, every prey animal in the Serengeti has evolved a set of behaviors and adaptations that give it a fighting chance in the ongoing struggle for survival. In this wild landscape, it is these remarkable strategies that allow them to endure generation after generation. The Serengeti is a living tapestry, woven from the lives of countless animal species. Each creature, from the largest elephant to the tiniest insect, is a vital thread in this intricate web. Here, every animal plays a unique and irreplaceable role, contributing to the health and balance of the ecosystem. The tracks that crisscross the plains are evidence of this deep interconnectedness. Herds of wildebeest, zebra, and antelope graze side by side, their movements shaping the very landscape they inhabit. At the heart of this system lies the relationship between predator and prey. Predators such as lions, leopards, and hyenas are not simply hunters, they are the ecosystem's regulators, maintaining the delicate balance of life. These carnivores keep herbivore populations in check, ensuring that no single species overwhelms the grasslands and depletes the resources that all depend on. By hunting, they prevent overgrazing, allowing the grasses to recover and thrive. This, in turn, supports the next generation of grazers and browsers. The herbivores, for their part, are the gardeners of the Serengeti. Their constant grazing stimulates new growth, keeping the plains lush and productive. Predators also play a crucial role in maintaining the health of prey populations. By targeting the weak, the old, and the sick, they strengthen the herd as a whole. This natural selection ensures that only the fittest survive to pass on their genes, making the population more resilient to disease and environmental challenges. Though it may seem harsh, this process is essential for the long-term survival of the species. The result is herds that are strong, healthy, and able to withstand the hardships of drought, migration, and disease. Calves born into these herds inherit the strength of their parents, continuing the cycle of resilience. The ability to survive river crossings and endure harsh seasons is a testament to the power of this natural selection. Without predators, herds would grow unchecked, leading to overgrazing, starvation, and the spread of illness. The great herds themselves are powerful forces of change. Their migrations shape the land, their hooves churning the soil, and their grazing patterns dictating where new growth will emerge. The Great Migration acts as a natural lawnmower, trimming the grasses and preparing the land for the next season. As the herds move, they leave behind a trail of fertilized, rejuvenated earth, ready to burst into life with the coming rains. Dung beetles and other insects break down the droppings of these animals, returning vital nutrients to the soil and supporting the growth of new plants. Even in death, animals contribute to the cycle. Carcasses left on the plains become a feast for scavengers, ensuring that nothing is wasted. Vultures, jackals, hyenas, and marabou storks all play their part, cleaning the land and recycling nutrients back into the ecosystem. This efficient cleanup crew ensures that disease does not spread and that every part of the animal is returned to the earth. The cycle of life and death is a constant exchange, a balance of giving and taking that sustains the Serengeti. Grass feeds the grazers, grazers feed the predators, and the remains of both nourish the soil, which in turn supports new life. Elephants, with their immense size, shape the landscape by knocking down trees and creating waterholes, while birds and insects benefit from their presence, feeding on parasites and dung. Hippos fertilize the rivers with their dung, supporting thriving fish populations and aquatic life. Zebras, with their sharp memory, guide the wildebeest along ancient migration routes, ensuring the survival of both species. In this vast ancient land, every animal, predator, prey, grazer, scavenger, insect, and bird plays a part in the grand design. The Serengeti's balance is maintained not by any one species, but by the harmonious interplay of all, each fulfilling its ecological role in a system perfected by nature over millennia. For all its timeless beauty and resilience, the Serengeti is shaped by powerful natural forces that test the limits of every creature that calls it home. This ancient ecosystem faces a host of natural threats, forces that have sculpted its landscapes and determined the fate of its inhabitants for millennia. Among the most formidable of these is drought. The Serengeti's life-giving rains are never guaranteed, and when the skies withhold their bounty, the land quickly transforms. The rhythm of the seasons can shift dramatically, with rainfall arriving late or not at all, leaving vast stretches of grassland parched and lifeless. Rivers dwindle to a trickle, waterholes vanish, and the once verdant plains become a harsh, unforgiving expanse. For the great herds, a failed rainy season can be catastrophic. Wildebeest, zebras and gazelles must travel ever farther in search of water and grazing, and many succumb to thirst and starvation before relief arrives. Predation is another ever-present threat. The Serengeti is a land of hunters and hunted, where every day is a struggle for survival. Lions, cheetahs, leopards and hyenas are always on the lookout for the weak or unwary, and the constant pressure of predation shapes the behavior and movement of every animal. Even the rivers, when flowing, are fraught with danger. Crocodiles lie in wait for migrating herds, turning every crossing into a deadly gamble. Competition for resources is fierce, especially during the dry season. Waterholes become crowded arenas where elephants, buffalo, antelope, and countless birds jostle for a precious drink. As grass becomes scarce, grazers must compete for every blade, and only the strongest or most adaptable survive. The cycle of life and death is unrelenting. Scavengers like vultures and jackals play a vital role, cleaning the plains and recycling nutrients, but their presence is a stark reminder of the ever-present struggle. For the young and the old, the risks are even greater. Calves separated from the herd or weakened by hunger are easy targets for predators or the elements. Even the weather itself can be a threat. Sudden storms bring lightning and flash floods, while intense heat can sap the strength of the hardiest animals. Insects, too, can shape the fate of the Serengeti. Swarms of locusts can strip the land bare, while termites break down tough plant matter, altering the landscape in subtle but profound ways. Even the plants must compete. Acacias defend themselves with thorns and toxins, while grazers and browsers adapt to feed on what others cannot. When the balance tips too far, when drought lingers or competition becomes too fierce, the land can fall silent, and the bones of the fallen mark the cost of survival. These natural threats, drought, predation, and competition, are all interconnected, shaping the destiny of every creature in the Serengeti. Yet, it is this very struggle that has forged the Serengeti's incredible diversity and resilience, ensuring that only the most adaptable survive. The challenges are immense, but they are part of the natural order, a timeless dance of life, death, and renewal that makes the Serengeti so extraordinary. The web of life here is delicate yet enduring, woven from countless struggles and triumphs across the ages. To witness the Serengeti is to witness nature's raw power and beauty, a world where survival is never guaranteed but life persists against all odds. As dawn breaks over the endless plains, the Serengeti awakens to a world shaped by resilience and adaptation. Here, every sunrise marks the continuation of a story millions of years in the making, a story written by the animals themselves. Across the savanna, herds of wildebeest and zebra begin their daily journey, guided by ancient instincts and the subtle cues of the land. Their migrations are a testament to the power of adaptation, as they navigate shifting seasons and unpredictable weather in search of fresh grazing. Predators, too, have honed their skills over generations. Lions coordinate in silence, cheetahs rely on speed and precision, and leopards master the art of stealth. Each species has carved out its own niche, evolving strategies to survive and thrive in this dynamic environment. Elephants, the gentle giants of the plains, demonstrate remarkable intelligence and social bonds. Their ability to adapt to droughts, remember distant water sources, and care for their young ensures the survival of their herds through the harshest times. From the tallest giraffe to the smallest warthog, every animal plays a role in the Serengeti's intricate web of life. Antelope blend seamlessly into the grass, while giraffes reach for leaves untouched by others, each finding their place in the ecosystem. Along the rivers, crocodiles and hippos have adapted to the cycles of flood and drought, while flocks of birds migrate vast distances, returning each year to nest and feed, their journeys woven into the rhythm of the land. The Serengeti is a cradle of life, where each new generation faces its own challenges. Newborns take their first steps under the watchful eyes of their elders, learning the skills they need to survive in a world of constant change. The cycles of drought and rain, birth and death, shape the destiny of all who call this place home. After every storm, the land renews itself, and the animals adapt once more, demonstrating the enduring resilience of life. The great migrations continue, a living river of life flowing across the plains. Predators and scavengers follow, each playing their part in the ongoing drama of survival and renewal. Even the smallest creatures, pollinators, insects, and reptiles, contribute to the Serengeti's balance, ensuring that every cycle, from the blooming of flowers to the decomposition of fallen trees, continues unbroken. The future of the Serengeti is written in the adaptability and resilience of its wildlife. As long as these cycles endure, the plains will remain a sanctuary for the greatest spectacle of life on Earth. In the golden light of dawn and dusk, the Serengeti stands as a living testament to the power of nature's ongoing cycles, a place where life persists, adapts, and flourishes, generation after generation. Here, the endless plains stretch to the horizon, a reminder that the story of the Serengeti is far from over. Its future is alive in every heartbeat, every migration, and every adaptation that unfolds beneath the African sky. The Serengeti's legacy is one of strength, endurance, and the unbreakable will to survive. As long as its animals continue to adapt and thrive, the cycles of life will endure, and the wild heart of Africa will beat on. Across the vast expanse of the Serengeti, the most remarkable journey unfolds each year, the migration of the wildebeest. As the sun rises, hundreds of thousands of these hardy grazers begin their daily trek, their hooves drumming a steady rhythm across the plains. Guided by the scent of rain and the promise of fresh grass, wildebeest herds move in an endless search for sustenance, forming one of nature's most awe-inspiring spectacles. Every day the journey is fraught with challenges. The wildebeest must traverse rivers swollen by seasonal rains, their waters concealing lurking crocodiles. Along the way, lion prides lie in wait, their golden eyes fixed on the weakest members. Hyenas trail the herds, ever watchful for signs of fatigue or injury, while cheetahs scan the fringes for an opportunity to strike. Despite the constant threat of predators, the wildebeest press on, their survival tied to the rhythm of the land. Calves keep close to their mothers, learning the routes passed down through generations. The herds pause only briefly to graze, their movements orchestrated by instinct and necessity. The migration is more than a journey. It is a lifeline for the Serengeti. As the wildebeest move, they shape the landscape, grazing grasses, dispersing seeds, and providing sustenance for countless other animals. Their presence ensures that the ecosystem remains in delicate balance, supporting life in all its forms. Each crossing, each day, is a testament to the wildebeest's endurance and unity. Through dust storms and downpours, across sun-baked earth and perilous rivers, they carry forward the legacy of survival. In their migration, the pulse of the Serengeti beats strongest, a living river of life that flows year after year across the timeless plains. Above the vast plains, another migration unfolds, one less visible, but no less vital. The Serengeti's skies and trees teem with birds, each species weaving its own story into the fabric of this ecosystem. From the stately secretary bird striding through the grasslands in search of snakes to flocks of quelea swirling in mesmerizing patterns, birds are everywhere, feeding, nesting, and thriving. Every morning, the air resonates with the chorus of weavers, their intricate nests hanging like ornaments from thorny acacias. These master builders shape the landscape using grasses and twigs to create safe havens for their young. High in the canopy, raptors perch silently, scanning for rodents and reptiles, while vultures soar on rising thermals, ever ready to cleanse the land of remains left behind by predators. Birds are crucial to the Serengeti's balance. Sunbirds and bee-eaters flit among wildflowers, pollinating as they feed. Oxpeckers ride on the backs of buffalo and giraffe, picking parasites and sounding the alarm at signs of danger. Ground hornbills stride purposefully, hunting insects and small mammals, keeping populations in check. As the seasons shift, migratory birds arrive from distant lands, following ancient routes guided by the stars and the wind. Their journey brings fresh energy to the plains, and their presence signals the changing rhythm of life. Through their feeding habits, birds disperse seeds, control pests, and recycle nutrients. Their nests provide shelter for other creatures, and their calls warn of approaching threats. In the Serengeti, birds are more than mere inhabitants. They are caretakers, sentinels, and architects of nature's balance. Here, in this timeless land, the flutter of wings and the melodies of songbirds remind us every life, no matter how small, plays a part in the Serengeti's enduring story. As the sun dips below the horizon, the Serengeti transforms. Shadows stretch across the plains, and the air cools. While daylight fades, a new cast of characters emerges, the nocturnal creatures, perfectly adapted to thrive in darkness. A hush settles, broken only by the distant whoop of a hyena or the haunting call of a nightjar. Under the cloak of night, lions become more than regal hunters. They are strategic shadows, coordinating silent hunts guided by keen vision and acute hearing. Leopards, rarely seen by day, move like ghosts through the undergrowth, their spotted coats blending seamlessly with the shifting moonlight. The bush babies leap from branch to branch, their enormous eyes catching the faintest glimmer. These tiny primates feast on insects and sweet tree gum, navigating the treetops with acrobatic ease. Meanwhile, the aardvark begins its nightly excavation, digging for termites with powerful claws, leaving behind telltale mounds in the soft earth. Porcupines waddle along ancient trails, and jennets slink through the grass, listening for the rustle of rodents. Owls perch silently, their swiveling heads and silent wings making them formidable hunters of the night. Even the smallest creatures, moths, beetles, and scorpions, come alive, each playing a role in the nocturnal web. The darkness is not without its dangers. Prey animals like impalas and hares remain ever vigilant, relying on heightened senses and swift reflexes to evade unseen predators. Bats dart through the air, feasting on insects and pollinating night-blooming flowers, helping to sustain the delicate balance of this ecosystem. As dawn approaches, the nocturnal world recedes, its secrets hidden once again. The Serengeti's night shift proves that life here is never still. Each hour brings new challenges, new rhythms, and new stories. In this realm of moonlight and mystery, survival belongs to those who master the darkness. As dawn breaks over the Serengeti, the vast plains come alive with movement. Herds of zebras, gazelles, and buffaloes sweep across the landscape in search of fresh grazing. But these herbivores are not just passive inhabitants, they are the architects of the grasslands. Zebras, with their ever-moving stripes, graze on the tough, coarse grasses that many other animals avoid. By cropping these hardy plants, they pave the way for more delicate shoots to grow, perfect for the pickier grazers that follow. Behind them, gazelles nibble on the tender new growth, their selective feeding patterns helping to keep the vegetation in balance. Buffalo, the heavyweights of the Serengeti, move in formidable herds. As they trample through the undergrowth, their hooves churn the soil, breaking up hard ground and allowing seeds to take root. Their grazing maintains open grasslands, preventing bush encroachment and creating space for countless other species. But the impact of these herbivores goes even deeper. Their droppings fertilize the earth, recycling nutrients and supporting the cycle of growth. The passage of vast herds shapes riverbanks, carves new paths, and even influences the flow of water during the rainy season. Together, zebras, gazelles, and buffalo form a living mosaic, each species playing its part in sculpting the Serengeti's iconic savanna. Through their daily routines, these herbivores sustain a landscape that supports predators, scavengers, and countless other creatures. In the Serengeti, the story of survival is written not just in tooth and claw, but in hoof and horn, in grass cropped and soil turned. Here, the land itself is a testament to the power of community and the subtle artistry of the herd. Beneath the towering hooves of elephants and the shadows of prowling predators, an intricate world bustles with life. Here, insects and small creatures quietly shape the fate of the Serengeti. Termites, often unseen, build vast underground fortresses. Their mounds rise from the earth like miniature skyscrapers, aerating the soil and creating nutrient-rich hotspots where new plants thrive. Dung beetles, the tireless recyclers, roll, bury, and consume animal droppings, returning vital nutrients to the ground and helping to control parasites. Ants patrol the grasslands in organized armies, defending their territories and tending to aphids that provide them with sweet honeydew. Their tunnels loosen the soil, allowing roots to spread and water to seep deep below the surface. Grasshoppers, beetles, and caterpillars feed on leaves and stems, providing an essential food source for birds, reptiles, and small mammals. Spiders and praying mantises lie in wait, their patience rewarded as they capture unsuspecting prey, keeping insect populations in balance. Frogs and lizards, though small, are fierce hunters themselves and crucial links in the food web. Even the humble earthworm plays its part, turning the soil and enriching it with every movement. These tiny architects influence the fates of giants. Wildebeest migrations follow the flush of new grasses made possible by the tireless work of insects. Birds flock to feast on swarms of termites, and meerkats dig for beetle larvae, their survival intertwined with these small yet indispensable neighbors. In the Serengeti, the grand spectacle of life depends on the quiet toil of its smallest inhabitants. Together, they weave the hidden threads that hold the ecosystem together, a reminder that even the tiniest creatures can shape a world. Across the vast plains of the Serengeti, the pulse of life is set by the rhythm of the seasons. As the rains return, the landscape transforms almost overnight. Parched earth turns emerald, rivers swell, and new life bursts forth. Wildebeest calves take their first steps on lush green grass, while zebras graze contentedly alongside them. Predators, too, thrive in this season of abundance, their young learning the ways of the wild. Yet this abundance is fleeting. As the dry season approaches, waterholes shrink and grasses wither, turning the plains to gold. Herds gather around the last remaining water sources, their survival dependent on careful timing and ancient instincts. Elephants dig into dry riverbeds, uncovering hidden reserves of water for themselves and for others. Lions and leopards adapt their hunting strategies, stalking prey that gathers in predictable places. Many animals travel great distances in search of food and water, following invisible paths carved by generations before them. Some, like the impala, rely on agility and keen senses to evade predators in the open, while others, like the tortoise, conserve moisture and wait out the harshest days in cool burrows. Throughout these shifting seasons, every creature, great and small, must adapt to survive. The cycle of wet and dry shapes their lives, forging resilience and ingenuity at every turn. In the Serengeti, change is constant, and survival is a testament to the remarkable ways animals harmonize with nature's ever-changing song. Beneath the golden savannas and endless skies, the rivers of the Serengeti carve winding paths through the landscape, silent lifelines that sustain the web of life. Along their banks, a world apart thrives, pulsing with activity both above and below the water's surface. Here hippos wallow in cool pools, their massive forms barely visible beneath the shimmering surface, emerging only to graze under the cover of night. Nile crocodiles lurk in the shallows, ancient predators, awaiting the crossing of unsuspecting prey. Fish dart through underwater forests of reeds, their scales flashing in the dappled light, while frogs and toads chorus at dusk, their calls echoing across the floodplains. Dragonflies skim the water's edge, hunting for insects, while birds like the African jacana tiptoe delicately across floating lily pads, their wide feet perfectly adapted for life on the water. Kingfishers perch on overhanging branches, their keen eyes scanning for the slightest ripple, a sign of a meal below. These rivers are not just highways for the great migrations. They are sanctuaries for countless creatures. Monitor lizards patrol the muddy banks, searching for eggs and small prey. Terrapins bask on sun-warmed rocks, slipping silently into the water at the first hint of danger. Even the smallest inhabitants, like aquatic snails and crustaceans, play crucial roles, recycling nutrients and keeping these waters healthy. During the dry season, as pools shrink and channels narrow, competition intensifies. Elephants dig for water in sandy riverbeds, their efforts creating new pools that benefit many. Antelope, warthogs and baboons gather at the remaining waterholes, sharing uneasy truces as they quench their thirst. From the tiniest tadpole to the largest hippo, life here is intertwined with the ebb and flow of the rivers. In the Serengeti, water is more than a resource. It is the very heart of survival, nurturing a vibrant community that depends on its steady pulse through every season. Across the sunlit plains and shadowed woodlands of the Serengeti, a new generation awakens. From the moment they take their first trembling steps, young animals are thrust into a world brimming with both wonder and danger. A wildebeest calf, legs still unsteady, must rise within minutes after birth, urged on by its mother and the ever-present threat of predators lurking nearby. Lion cubs, hidden in dense thickets, play and tumble, learning vital skills through mock hunts and playful bouts, their every move a lesson for the future. Elephant calves, shielded by the protective circle of their herd, mimic their elders, reaching, grasping, and splashing in muddy pools. Each day they learn the intricate social bonds and ancient migration routes that will one day guide them across the vast savanna. Giraffe calves, towering yet vulnerable, practice balancing on spindly legs while keeping a wary eye on the horizon. For cheetah cubs, survival means mastering the art of stealth and speed. Under their mother's watchful gaze, they stalk grasshoppers and chase shadows, honing the skills that will one day make them formidable hunters. Even the smallest creatures, like newborn warthogs and impala fawns, must learn quickly to freeze, hide, or dash to safety at the slightest sign of movement. Throughout these early days, there is no shelter from hardship. Drought, hunger, and predators test every instinct, yet through resilience and the guidance of parents, most will grow stronger, adapting to the Serengeti's endless cycle of challenge and renewal. These first steps, these stories of growth and survival, ensure that the pulse of life in the Serengeti continues, wild, untamed, and full of hope for the future. Beneath the hooves, paws, and claws that roam these endless plains lies a hidden force that shapes every life in the Serengeti, its remarkable plant world. Stretching from the golden grasslands to the scattered acacia woodlands, the Serengeti's flora forms the very bedrock of this ecosystem, a silent, steadfast presence that nourishes, shelters, and sustains. The vast sea of grasses, with species like red oat grass and stargrass, sway in unison with the winds, providing essential food for millions of grazing animals. These grasses are uniquely adapted to the region's cycles of rain and drought, able to regrow rapidly after grazing or fire, ensuring a constant supply of nourishment for wildebeest, zebras, gazelles, and more. Dotting the landscape, acacia and baobab trees offer more than just shade. Their leaves, pods, and bark feed elephants, giraffes, and antelopes. The acacia's thorns and chemical defenses spark a fascinating arms race with browsers, while the mighty baobab stores water within its massive trunk, sustaining life through the dry season. Hidden among the grasses, wildflowers bloom after seasonal rains, painting the savanna with bursts of color. Shrubs and herbs provide vital nutrients and medicine for countless animals. Even the smallest plants, mosses, lichens, and succulents, play their part, stabilizing soil and holding precious moisture. Each plant, from towering tree to humble blade of grass, forms intricate relationships with the animals that depend on them. Some offer fruit and nectar to birds and insects, while others provide nesting sites or camouflage for creatures great and small. Roots help anchor the soil, preventing erosion during storms and floods. Together, the Serengeti's plant life creates a living tapestry, one that cycles nutrients, cleans the air, and captures the sun's energy, powering the web of life above. In this timeless land, the silent work of plants underpins every story of survival, growth, and renewal, making them the true foundation of the Serengeti's enduring wildness. In the heart of the Serengeti, life is a constant test of resilience. Here, survival hinges on extraordinary adaptations, ingenious solutions to the region's relentless heat, punishing droughts and sudden storms. Each animal, from the towering giraffe to the industrious termite, is shaped by the land's ever-changing moods. Take the elephant, whose enormous ears act as natural radiators, dissipating heat as the midday sun turns the plains into a shimmering furnace. Wildebeest and zebras synchronize their migrations with the rhythm of the rains, traveling hundreds of miles to follow the promise of fresh grass and water. Giraffes, with their long necks, reach leaves untouched by others, while their unique circulation system keeps blood flowing to the brain even as they bend to drink. Lions and leopards seek shade and rest during the hottest hours, conserving energy for the cool of night when they hunt. Crocodiles bury themselves in riverbank mud, entering a state of torpor to survive long dry spells. Meanwhile, the diminutive dik-dik relies on efficient kidneys to conserve every precious drop of water, thriving where others cannot. Birds soar high on thermal currents, scanning vast distances for food and shelter, while ostriches rely on their speed and keen eyesight to evade danger across the open plains. Even insects display remarkable ingenuity. Dung beetles navigate by the stars, while termites build towering mounds that regulate temperature and humidity within. As storms sweep across the savanna, animals adapt in real time. Herds cluster for warmth and protection. Burrowers retreat underground, and predators exploit the chaos to hunt. In every corner of the Serengeti, life is an ongoing dance with the elements, a testament to the power of adaptation. These survival strategies, honed over countless generations, allow the Serengeti's creatures to endure, thrive, and keep the ancient circle of life turning, no matter what challenges nature brings.